Hello everyone, it's Steve with Aptera Owners Club. This is kind of breaking news. I'm recording this at around 5 p.m., 4 p.m., 4 or 5 p.m. Pacific time on May 11th. And it is breaking news that Lordstown Motor and Foxconn closed their asset purchase agreement. And so this is the thing that we talked about in a few videos ago, where I was making a speculation that Lordstown may be making the hub motors that go into the Aptera. Now that is complete speculation, mainly based on the fact that I couldn't find any other mass production sites for Elafe's hub motors other than Lordstown. And Lordstown we know is using Elafe hub motors. Lordstown, to put it lightly, has been having some financial problems. They burned through all the cash from their SPAC and IPO, and they were running critically low on cash, and they were probably going to have to go bankrupt if this deal didn't go through. Well, as of like 30 minutes ago, the deal did go through, and what's happening is Foxconn is giving them $260 million in cash to purchase the Lordstown manufacturing facility. And what's happening is they are going to take over, and all the people that work at that facility will now be Foxconn employees instead of Lordstown Motor employees. This is not counting the hub motor operation, which we learned previously is a carve out and is not part of this deal. And so Lordstown will maintain control of that part of the manufacturing. They're also doing a joint venture called MIH EV Design. So this is part of that mobility and harmony group that Foxconn started, where they're going to start a new company, a joint venture called MIH EV Design, where they kind of design EVs together based on the MIH standardized platform. So, so the way it comes to $260 is they're paying $230 million plus they're reimbursing some operating and expansion costs of $27 million. So that together is about $260 million. Previously, Foxconn purchased $50 million of Class A stock. So Foxconn is a stockholder in Lordstown Motor. So they're definitely tied together pretty tightly. And then there's about 400 employees that will now become Foxconn employees. This is their new venture, which is 55% owned by Foxconn and 45% by LMC. And what it is Foxconn is footing 100% of the money, but 45% of it is considered a loan, since obviously Lordstown has no cash. But I believe that Foxconn believes that Lordstown has some technical ability and intellectual capital that's valuable to them, and so they are joining this joint venture. And as you know, this Lordstown Motor will be the site where they're going to build the endurance truck, as well as build the Fisker Pear, which we haven't seen anything about it, but we know that it's a relatively inexpensive EV that Fisker is designing and Foxconn is going to manufacture. At least that is the plan. So after this happened, you can see. So this is after hours. It closed today at 1.5, so $1.50. And then when this news went public, it shot up to about 2.2 and then has settled out around $2 a share. So it went up about 33%, a pretty significant 35% bump in share price. So I guess if we were smart and we knew 100% this was going to happen, we could have bought it at 150 and made about a 35% profit in a day. Okay, in other news, I just happened to see this yesterday, and Lucid Air, which is one of the companies that I'm peripherally following because I think they are a very interesting company and they have good technology, and I think their cars are pretty nice, although a bit out of our price range. They are increasing their price by about $10,000, so that's like a 15% price increase. So their cheapest model is now going to be $89,000. This follows Tesla. We know has been raising their prices about 10% across the board this year, and then Rivian. Remember, they increased their price, but they made their price increase retroactive, which upset a bunch of their people, and I think rightly so. And so what they did is they did not make it retroactive, but they instituted the price going forward. Lucid is going to increase this price as of June 1st. So everyone has like 2-3 weeks to lock down the price at its current price before it goes up June 1st. So most Lucid, Tesla, Rivian have all increased their price about 10 to 15%. I find it fairly likely that Aptera will have to increase their price. There's a massive inflation and supply chain issues, and everyone is increasing their price across the board. I think Aptera will have to do the same, and I think a 10 to 15% price increase um, would not be surprising, at least not to me. I don't know what you guys think about it. Please comment below if you think differently. And then, so number one, we don't know if Lordstown is making these motors uh, for Elafe, at least the one that Aptera are using. I actually reached out to Elafe myself through their Facebook because they're pretty active on Facebook, and I asked them if they have any mass production facilities. They can do some small series production, so they can produce, a few motors per day at their small scale production, but they are expanding for production scale up. And then I asked them, is this large scale facility in Europe, or are they referring to the Lordstown, Ohio facility? And they said they are referring to a facility in Slovenia. So Elafe is making a mass production facility um, in Slovenia, and that is going to ramp up for production next year. And so I asked them if this is where the motors for Aptera will be made, and there was no response after that. However, I do have an anonymous contact who has some information and has some close contacts with Elafe and speaks to them fairly regularly. He said that Elafe states that they will not, they 100% guarantee they will not be the rate limiting factor in Aptera producing cars, that they will be able to produce enough motors for Aptera. And I don't know, again, I don't know if it's through the Lordstown facility or through their facility in Slovenia. Now, according to them, the Slovenian facility is not going to be online until next year. So they're not going to be able to deliver, if that's the facility, they're not going to be able to deliver mass quantities to Aptera until next year. However, like I said, I think Aptera is not going to deliver cars this year. At least I would be quite happily surprised if they did. And if they do, then just producing like one Paradigm edition on July 31st would meet their metric, and they can definitely get that volume of motors. I mean, Elafe has given them several motors for their alpha and beta vehicles, and they're able to produce, a few motors per day at their R&D facility. So that might be it. Maybe it is Lordstown. They didn't say one way or the other, and maybe there's another facility that we don't know about. Although that seems unlikely. I think they would have said that there's another facility. So I think it is either Lordstown or it is this Slovenian facility. However, they feel very confident that they're not going to be the rate limiting factor. Elafe is evidently about 20% of their business. And, so they have other customers that are a bigger part of their business that they need to deliver motors to as well. So it seems like they are going to be making motors one way or the other. And so I don't think we need to worry too much about Elafe being the rate limiting factor for Aptera production. And anyway, this agreement with Foxconn makes Lordstown solvent again. So if Lordstown is the facility, and again, we don't know if it is, it looks like that's going to be okay at this point. Okay, well, tell me what you guys think. If you have any comments, we love all discussions down below. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I'd like to take this moment to recognize our sponsors who are generously sponsoring this channel. Um, At the 100 kilowatt level, Enoch, Brian, and Jaron. At the 40 kilowatt level, Curtis, Jeremy, Tom, Dean, Go Climb a Rock, Adimchi, Neil, John, Don, Paul, Harry, and Paulry. Thank you so much for your support. Everyone have a great day.